Penny here. Today on my garden podcast, I went round to my mum's. Do you want to get out of this place, Mum? And just go wild, go somewhere like the garden centre. This is my first confession of the series. Now, you may spit your tea out as you're listening to this. The trip to the garden centre was slightly blighted. I know, clutch at your pearls. What I'd love to know is, am I the asshole? Oh. Are we starting? Hello. I've given it the, at least 5 seconds pause between saying hello and telling you what I'm doing, because that's what they do on telly. Ideally, I'd have come round a corner with a wheelbarrow and gone, hello, as if you weren't there, and then gone, right, best show you what I'm doing then. So we are at the Mediterranean sun terrace bed, which sounds ever so grand. But if you can imagine some breeze blocks stacked upon each other, and then some sort of plastering's gone on, and then some white paint's gone on, but not so much lately. I weeded it a couple of weeks ago, which I wasn't going to podcast about because it's a boring aspect of the garden. It's not really gardening, is it? Weeding. I weeded it. I'd put a load of cardboard on top, and it needed more compost on top to bring the height of it, bring the level up a little bit. So we've done that today. A couple of bags of compost, peat-free. Thank you. Compost has gone on. And it's looking, it just looks edible, frankly. It's got that lovely sort of crumble quality to it. And this is the direction of travel. We're going for drought-proof, full sun, drying out bed. Probably try not to water it as much as we used to, perhaps, because of water shortages, and also trying to save the planet because no one else seems interested in doing that. So we've got this pampas grass. Can you hear that? Now behind that, on the fence, is a rose bush. Now, this is my first confession of the series. Now you may spit your tea out as you're listening to this. You may choke on a bit of compost as you hear it, but I don't like roses. I know, clutch at your pearls. Some of them are bushy, some of them are trees, some of them are a bit weedy and just like stand there just looking really wet, puny. Anyway, it's looking great. So there's the backdrop to the bed. Otherwise, we have a lot of compost, which is beautiful and dark and just looks like off the telly. Or off Instagram even. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more, get some good coverage, because I know the rain will come and it will flatten it. I kept the cardboard down as a weed barrier, which I think is a really lazy gardener's top tip. A really good lazy gardener's top tip for keeping on top of the weeds, basically. Why work harder? Why would you bother? That looks gorgeous and ready for a slew, S-L-E-W, of new plants that I went to the garden centre yesterday and purchased. And I didn't think I was going to purchase a load of plants. It was like I went to IKEA. You know when you go to IKEA or a large shop, a discount like fun shop, and you go, right, I'm just going to go in for breadboards. And then you come out with like a new cabinet, a load of plant pots, maybe a picture you think you need. And before you know it, anyway, I did that at the garden centre. So I went in thinking I'll just buy a couple of, just a bit of colour for this corner of the raised bed, and ended up with quite a few things that I really like and I haven't had for a while. So I've got, not for here, but just generally, this picture caught my eye in the garden centre. It's a lupin, and the lupin colours, you know what a lupin is? It's that kind of long tapered column of petals. They're brilliant for pollinators. They're always surrounded by bees. Really appealing I tell you what, the greenfly love them though. That's the only drawback. But lupins are really fun. This lupin has alternate layers of colour. So one like round the column is yellow, and then it's like a jazzy magenta purple, and then it's yellow, then it's the magenta, then it's yellow, then it's magenta, and it looks like the sleeve from an outfit of a mariachi band. That's what drew me to it, and I thought, I've got to have that. That's fun. It's a bit different, isn't it? So bought a couple of lupins. They're going to brighten up a bit of a corner. And then I've got, I was looking out the window the other day and I was thinking, okay, we've got some yellow tulips and I've got some purple things. I'm going to call them bluebells. I'm not convinced they are. They might be, but they come back every year. They're really great, and they're underneath the Acer tree. And so I've got purple and I've got yellow, and I thought what would be really nice, sort of candy pink, a bit further on to draw the eye out of the house. And other stuff I tell myself about my plans in the garden. So I've got 3 zonal geraniums, pink bicolour, pink and white basically, and they won't come back. Will they? Will they? I don't know. I always forget with things like this. Do geraniums come back? No, they don't. Unless you're very lucky. So it's, it's full sun, partial shade, well-drained soil, the usual instruction. So we're not going to have to pay too much attention to that. So I've got 3 of them. And I'd like them to go at the front where I can see them. Okay, and then the other plant I've bought is called cat's pyjamas. Although pyjamas is spelt incorrectly. So it's a Nepeta, I think. Nepeta. And paid £12 for that. Oh my word. Anyway, it comes back every year, so I'll forgive it. And it needs full sun, blah, blah, blah. And it gets to about 60 centimetres high. And I love this bigging itself up on the back on the packet. Clever breeding has resulted in this new long blooming perennial that gives fantastic value for money. Oh, it's like I read the it does with masses of indigo blue flowers, and usually all the way up from the stem to the soil, or the other way around. A reliable rebloomer. The whole plant is heavily fragrant, hardy, and very easy to grow. You can see why we called it the cat's pyjamas.
It says catmint on it. I think it's like catnip.
It does say catmint. Nepeta's cat's pyjamas, catmint. Oh, but it's drought tolerant. That's what the other reason I was drawn to it, because I want it to be in this bed and I want it to live near the palm. It's competing for moisture with other plants as well, so it's got to do its job there. And it's smelly, which is the main thing. I did see the cat sort of nibbling on it earlier, so maybe it's got something to do with catnip. I don't know. It's not particularly smelly yet. So, maybe I'll do a kind of geranium, a cat's pyjamas, another geranium, something like that. Geraniums could get quite big, can't they? If we're lucky. Anyway, the trip to the garden centre was slightly blighted by a conversation I'd had in the car on the way there with my mum. And I went round to my mum's. Do you want to get out of this place, Mum? And just go wild, go somewhere like the garden centre and, let's have a slice of cake and a cup of tea while we're there. What do you reckon, Mum? She's like, oh yeah, I'll get my coat and my walking stick. Great. So there we are, we're saddled up, we're in the car. Now the background to that is that she's moved house recently. She's moved to a warden managed accommodation. So she's got a little apartment. She's got the warden who lives in the corridor, lives across her in the corridor, so it's handy. And she then, after a week of moving house, she had a stroke, like a mini stroke, like a TIA it's called. I don't know what that stands for, I can't remember. But a mini stroke where her brain just went a bit crazy for a while. She passed out a bit. I went round, there was paramedics, it was all like drama. And luckily she's all right, she's okay, she's just a bit battered and bruised really, and a bit confused, I think. But she seems to be picking up again. Anyway, she's been told she can't drive for 10 weeks, which is, reasonable if you're about to pass out at the wheel. Probably not a good idea, is it, to be razzing around town? Anyway, she goes, I'm just a bit worried about, my car not starting. I went, well, okay, well, I can turn it on and drive it around the block and all the rest of it. I said, we could just have it for the 8 or 7 weeks, wherever you got left of your driving abstinence, to keep it running. And also we're down to one car. We could do with a kind of trip to the tip car and can I help you out a bit with anything you need moving and stuff, because it's a bigger car, blah blah. Anyway, just sort of floated it as an idea. Anyway, she made this big announcement in the car I'm thinking about, I'm going to give it to you. And I went, oh right, okay, well that's really nice, great, oh right, okay. And she went, but you'll have to drive me everywhere. So I'm not really good at responding to stuff like that calmly. So I didn't respond very calmly. And I was really annoyed about that, because I do a lot. And to think that you'd give somebody something as a gift and then go, but actually this massive caveat comes with it, where you have to do this thing. I'm now making you my chauffeur. So that was my trip to the garden centre with my mother. What I'd love to know is, am I the asshole? So I don't know if you're familiar with a thread on Reddit called Am I the Asshole? I think this story that I've just told you is a little bit along those lines. Am I the asshole for not driving my mother everywhere? Or is she the asshole for offering me a gift, which ultimately comes with a contract of, you're now my driver? Write in on a postcard or email, whatever you want to do. If you remember, you might be listening in the garden right now in your earbuds, pods, Sony Walkmans. Let's get planting. I've got geraniums to put in, and I've got catnip to cat's pyjamas, something smelly, to go in the ground to finish off this beautiful Mediterranean sun terrace bed. Thanks for listening.